On today's episode of how I try to give myself Minecraft PTSD, I decided to do something that I had not done before on this channel. Survive 100 days in vanilla hardcore Minecraft. Now I know what you're thinking, all 57 of you that saw the last video. My guy, didn't you do that the last time? Didn't you do that before? Well, yeah, it brings me to a cold sweat too, and a panic as well. But, yes, I did do it, and yet, no I did not.
You serious?
Because last time, we did one thing crucially wrong. We didn't actually survive 100 days. In fact, we didn't even survive 10 days. So, this time, we have a plan. This time, we have something new in mind. This time, we're going to do things differently.
Right.
So there are two things we need to do specifically this time to make sure that we do this challenge. The first is very obvious. We need to get the tools really quickly. We need to get diamonds. We need to actually get a base set up real quickly, which probably means we need to do some mining early on, which kind of sucks and is kind of boring, but will get us what we need. The second thing we need to do though, and this really is crucial, this was quite the revelation when I realized it, we need to not die before 100 days.
Well, have you thought about, I don't know, not doing that?
So loading into the world, we first get very lucky and a village is right next to us. So taking some wood, we then go into the village and start to borrow some of the goods, taking a bed, taking a bunch of melons, taking some of the grain and some of the wheat. I'm gonna look around some of these rooms, trying to find anything useful at all, managing to take a blast furnace.
That's stealing!
Building some tools as well, taking a crafting table just to save myself time, and just generally raiding them for anything kind of useful.
Baby Jesus doesn't like stealing.
Once we've gotten through that, we then try to look for a little place for a base, and I can see straight away across the other side that there's a nice mountain that looks like it could be really cool for some kind of mountain base. So we swim across.
I feel like I was going really fast.
Take some coal, get some XP, and sleep off the first night, and unbelievably managing to get the first day done without too much hassle at all. Day 2 starts pretty simply by getting stone tools and carving out our base a little bit inside the mountain, getting a furnace down, getting torches down to prevent mobs, getting the bed down, getting a chest down to start dropping off some of the stuff we've been accumulating, before searching around the area inside a little bit and realizing, shock, there's actually a second village on the other side. This was quite a surprise. I did not plan to see it at all, but
because I have no reason to lie.
Going across to that village, we were able to get some gold, more different food types, sugarcane and the like, iron armor as well, and some other bits and pieces that actually proved to be quite useful. So day 2 turned out to be a pretty efficient thing. Day 3 on the other hand, slightly more boring, taking all the materials, packaging them down in the chest, smelting up all the iron, then starting to go around the outside and actually doing a bit more exploring around the mountain, collecting all the ores, killing the first monster we've had to kill, a zombie hiding out above us.
All too easy.
And generally doing some very boring bits and pieces just to get some of the basic gear that we need to survive. The following day, we did some very boring stuff, baking up some stone, finishing off some of the edges to the base to make it look correct, smelting down more iron, making a bucket, that kind of thing, and then starting to mine down, because this time I'm determined not to jump into a mine shaft or something, but actually to mine down properly and collect ores the old-fashioned way. Very boring, but very, very, very safe. Days 5 and 6, we just mined our way down, all the way down to the bedrock. We got some lapis, we got some more iron ore, some coal and the like, but nothing particularly exciting. What I wanted to do was establish a small base down at the bedrock level to try to get diamonds the old-fashioned way. I know I can look for a big cave and so on, but I thought this time we're going to be as safe as possible. Let's just do it by strip mining. Days 7 through 10 then progressed like a blur. I mean, this is the bit of the video it's like, and now we mined. There's like 30 seconds of mining. I mined and I mined and I mined, and to be honest, I might have gone a little crazy in the middle because we sang on multiple occasions. And I mean multiple. I'm just gotta keep mining. Keep on mining. Mining from. And then also this time. Where the hell is all the diamonds? Where all the diamonds gone? Where all the diamonds? Where all the diamonds gone? Far, far away. And this time too. Doop 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 doop. Of course, by this time, I think I actually might have gone just a little bit crazy, as I was seeing things that weren't even there. Wait. Is that just me mining? Yes, that's just me mining. Okay, fine, whatever. Of course, the game was doing its very, very best to scare me with sounds that I have definitely not heard before. And this wasn't that far away from Halloween. I don't know what that sound was. That didn't sound friendly.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
Wait, wrong Jason? But in the end, the singing all paid off because clearly it gave me the luck to get redstone, to get gold, and then shock, horror, actual diamonds. And just for the record, this is the unedited sound of me realizing that I found diamonds for the first time. Which is currently, frankly, I don't know if the microphone could pick up the sharp intake of breath. Oh my god. It's a diamond. A single freaking diamond. Okay, we're just gonna drop something I don't need. There we go. Da, 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 da. Celebrate a piece of bread too, because frankly, I was concerned that oh wow, goals were. I was actually genuinely starting to consider if diamonds were just not in the game. So by the end of day 10, we went all the way back up to our small hobbit hole base, dropped off all the stuff, smelted down all the ores, and slept, well, for the first time in multiple days with actual gear and actual diamonds. So day 11 began by building a shield and repairing my tools after we'd used pretty much all of them, mining, and setting out the front door to explore. Minecraft's always at its best when you start exploring, and so we went through the village, out further than we'd been before, finding a second village, dealing with a bunch of rain, having a little explore in the village, but really finding very little of any use, sadly. Slipping that off into a clear sunny day of day 12, dragging it back to the base, dropping it off, and then deciding, you know, we're still quite undergeared. That's kind of sad, but we only have a half dozen diamonds, right? So back in the mines, back into the diamonds, trying to search for diamonds, slowly working our way, eventually getting a few more, then a few more again, then having a heart attack. Yeah, because we're just chugging along here, making our way. Oh. It's at this point I should say we literally waited for a minute. This is literally live. I never paused it. It's still me. You get to hear me jump back in again in a second. So yeah, fun times. Yep, still paused. Frozen like a rabbit. Right. I mean, I still don't actually know what that noise was. But anyway, then attempted to use some maths to work out exactly how many diamonds does it take to fully get myself together. There's probably an easier way to do it, but I don't know. Because I need 7 plus 8. I need to write this down. I know professionals, but no, sorry, 7, 8. I want to pick 3 for the pick. Really care for the axe. An axe would be 3, but I really care for the axe. Would to be 4. Oh, it would be 3. 5. Wow. And I wouldn't mind a sword or a hoe. 2, 2, 2. Okay, so that means I need 7, 11, 16, 23, 32 to be safe. Because I need the enchanting table as well.
You're not very good at math.
Finally getting through the maths, managing to collect more redstone again, and then more redstone, finding some more diamonds, really starting to stack them up at this point, almost dying to lava, a pretty much constant thing that we all have to deal with when we work in the mines. A whole bunch of cardio work to run all the way back. And this is probably a good time to take a very brief interlude and say, I hope that you like this style of video. I'm trying something slightly different this time with the way I'm recording it and the way I've done it compared to the last one. And if you do, please leave a like and feel free to subscribe. It's free and it doesn't cost you anything, but it would really help me and Lem build our channel slowly over the next few months. Getting into day 17, running back to the base, dropping off all the deep slate into a deep slate chest. We're going to need that later on. Just put that to the back of your mind with a pin. Bouncing on the bed, don't know why. Before then counting up my diamonds, finding we have 19 in total, and deciding, okay, let's gear up as best we can and let's explore. Looking better. So heading out, getting a boat, getting on the sea, always the quickest way to explore. Then finding something of interest. A boat maybe, or a shipwreck. Oh, yep, a shipwreck, and then trying to do it before failing because it turned out I didn't have any doors and I don't want to drown, but then actually almost drowning and then having to run away anyway.
See, running away!
And eventually doing a bit more exploring, this time on foot, finding a nice lava pool, obviously trying to get ourselves some obsidian because you never know when you might need an enchanting table or in fact another portal. But as we all know, obsidian is a lot of fun.
A few moments later.
Exploring a little more from then onwards and getting into another village which we slept off through into day 18. Unfortunately, the village didn't really have a lot except for a spider that really wanted to kill us, but we dealt with that quite simply. Before doing a little more running and swimming onwards to find ourselves a ruined nether portal, which unfortunately was the worst nether portal ever. But where's there no gold? There's always gold at a... It's like one of the worst nether portals I've ever found.
My disappointment is immeasurable.
Then making our way onwards down the river and letting the sun set, and so sleeping it off through into day 19, where a little more exploring brought us close to a pillager tower. Retreating with great bravery, we managed to eventually find ourselves yet another shipwreck, which this time we explored a lot more fully without having any issues like we did the last time. And then following onwards, more exploring, more running around trying to find something useful. he did an absolutely perfect bucket clutch on the way as I was exploring. That was perfect. No one saw that.
First try.
And eventually making our way closer back towards our base and remembering very briefly at least that Minecraft, despite being a very blocky game, is also one of the most picturesque and beautiful games out there. Making it into day 21, we actually got back to our base. Yeah, we did it. So good. And decided we need a proper base. Quite frankly, this hobbit hole, as nice as hobbit holes can be, is not really the kind of thing I would like.
Welcome, welcome.
And so I decided to get on top of the hill that our base was built into. How's it going, bro? To try and flatten it off, to try and see if there's a good place. And it looks, quite frankly, like a pretty good place to build a base. So we started by flattening it off, trying to get rid of all the dirt, the trees, whatever it was there. Straight into day 22, where we started to actually plan a bit.
Let's do that right now. Let's do.
What we're going to do with it. It was quite a big space, and we wanted to make a nice footprint. I've got a huge amount of deep slate, and I really love working with deep slate as a building material.
Be like, shiplap, a shiplap, a shiplap.
So I thought, you know what, if we can get ourselves a good space here, we can build maybe a tower or castle on top of the hill.
That must be Lord Farquaad's castle.
That's the place.
We can have a nice overlooking place across the whole of the area. And of course, still having time to have a look at the progress we made. Compared to the first time we did this, getting only 7 days in, this time we're at day 22 now into 2023, and you know what, we're looking pretty good. Minor editing note, I actually noticed when I was re-listening to my footage, this little bit here, which turns out to be incredibly prophetic. That would be a terrible way to die if I just forgot where the edge was because I was trying to do that.
Spoilers.
Yup, I am a dumbass. The day 23 starts and we have to go back down, get ourselves more stone because frankly my backpack just doesn't carry enough deep slate to do it. Jumping our way back up to the top of the mountain without any stairs or ladders, giving myself enough time to sing just yet another song. It feels like it's like, well, it's more like Aquaman. Don't know, but you know what Aquaman's theme sounds like? Aquaman, Aquaman does whatever a fish can. Or something like that probably. We used a stone cutter to start to cut up the deep slate into some nice blocks. Maybe getting just a little bit too excited about it. Oh, ooh, chiseled. Ooh, chiseled. Looks nice, doesn't it?
Excuse me.
And start to get the edges of the area done and take a moment just to admire the village all the way across and just see how good a spot this is. This really is very excellent. We can actually get a really good view of the whole valley and the whole area together. Unfortunately, it turns out I'm really stupid. There's the other guys.
Happy trails, Hans.
Quite unfortunate.
Yep, I managed to fall backwards off of my building without a bucket of water handy, and I was just too stunned to actually do anything about it. This was a hard death, like realizing no amount of money could overcome the hard stop of the Infinity Stones. It felt like I was 2 years old again, and this was 1986.
That's a weird example.
But they say that knowing is half the battle. Of course, they're wrong. I mean, seriously, it's like 25% at best, maybe 30. But in any event, surely it means we must have a better chance. We must have learned something. And so let's just do it again. You know what? It's only been 20 minutes. You guys are all here comfortably. It's not difficult. We'll just run it again, run it back, and it'll be completely fine. So, starting off with the world once again, loading into the map as before, and then oh no.